I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Global Book Network, we're diving into a provocative and eye-opening read. It is called Football One, and it is written by a terrific author. His name is Geoffrey Brown. This bold and unfiltered book explores everything from freedom of speech and politics to relationships and self-awareness. If you're ready to challenge your beliefs and think more deeply about the world, Football One will kick off some serious reflection. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Geoffrey, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Hey, Logan, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Talk to us about what inspired the unique title of Football One for a book about philosophy and society.
Well, I mean, there's a chapter in the book about Lawrence Taylor, and in my spare time, I'm a pretend professor and a pretend coach. So my curriculum is in Football One. It's just all about football in general, and Lawrence Taylor and specifically. And it was just a way for me to include that curriculum in the book.
Very
And I
cool.
also figured as well that if I write a second book, I could call it Football Two.
Exactly. It's an easy sequel to title. You cover a lot in this book: politics, religion, relationships. Is there a common thread?
Is there a common thread? Well, that's a tough question. I would have to say the common thread is just real life experience. All of these insights or discoveries are things that I've encountered over my time. It's specifically a lot of time related to when I was homeless for 5 years.
Mm. Yeah, and I guess the common thread also is you. It's your thoughts, it's your musings, it's your ideas, it's your philosophy. So I think that's the common thread. What does it mean to truly understand yourself in your view?
Oh, wow. It's more than just looking deeply at yourself. It's accepting pretty much all the little things and the big things about yourself as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about freedom of speech. We are in a crazy polarized world where, one side hates the other. Everybody's accusing the other of, extremism and hate speech. Um, how do you have freedom of speech, or how do you define freedom of speech in today's polarized world?
I think that's a tough one because I don't think people accept it. I mean, you could just have a definition of freedom of speech as just spoken word, but I don't think that's acceptable. I think that people speak often using their body language and movements and motions as well. So really, I don't think there is a way that that's going to be acceptable by everybody, and
Exactly.
that's
One
unfortunate.
group's going to think you're right, the other group will think you're wrong, and vice versa, right?
Right, and that's unfortunate because I think it's an issue that we need to grapple with and really get an understanding of. I don't think we have a very good understanding of what freedom of speech entails. And I think that it holds us back in understanding a lot of other things that are going on in society as well.
Agreed. Which personal experience most shaped your worldview and your writing?
Oh, geez. Probably my interactions with police. Yeah,
Mhm.
probably dealing with the coppers.
Tell us about that and how it shaped your worldview.
Those coppers are really not interested in anything you have to say. They're mostly just interested in how they can manipulate the conversation and get what they want out of it. Um, and it's really unfortunate because it dehumanizes people, I think, the way that police deal with other people.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. They can be a tough crowd to deal with, no doubt. And I've dealt with them a lot as a journalist.
Oh,
You talked about being homeless for 5 years. Talk to us about that, what that was like, and how you came to be homeless.
well, I came to be homeless because my parents kicked me out of the house.
Mm.
They wanted me to do something, so I did it, but it wasn't going to be done in the 24 hours they wanted. And so they kicked me out because of that. And I spent 5 years being homeless. Part of it, I had a vehicle, and part of it, I didn't. And one of the main understandings I found of being homeless is that it's extremely easy to lose yourself. I lost grasp of myself multiple times, multiple ways, and it was a real difficult process because when you're homeless, you're pretty much always on the run. You never have a sanctuary area. You never have a place where you can just sit down and relax. You can go to parks as much as you like because those are available for the public, but you find yourself in situations where you just don't have any peace of mind at all.
Mm. Yeah, you've got no safe haven, really. I mean,
Right,
because the shelters can be hell.
right.
You're harassed, I'm sure, by police often for quote unquote loitering. And like you said, perhaps the best respite you can find is a public park, and that can be tough too, right?
Yep, that's totally true. I mean, parks themselves have a lot of operational hours. So a lot of parks you can't be in 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And if you're homeless, just trying to get sleep is a real serious difficulty. And so sleeping in parks was what I ended up doing. And there were multiple times where I got woken up in the middle of the night and it was a police officer kicking my feet, trying to get my attention. And
Yeah.
it'll rattle you a little bit and it'll make you rethink a lot of things.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your philosophy on relationships.
Sure.
How important are relationships in our existence, in your opinion?
I think that they're extremely important. I think that they get taken for granted too often. And I think that we live in such a beautiful world, and we have such a beautiful opportunity, but we don't really appreciate taking care of our relationships with other people. I think as well as we could. For instance, I've got a bunch of friends of mine that used to be friends in college that it's really difficult to keep up with them, and so we don't keep our friendship intact very well. And when we do get in touch, it's like no time that really elapsed, but all the time that has elapsed, we haven't taken any time to appreciate each other. And
Yeah.
so that I think that's difficult.
Absolutely, absolutely. You talked earlier about Lawrence Taylor and the impact he's had on your thinking and on your philosophy. Talk to us about Lawrence Taylor and why he's included in the book and why it's significant.
Well, he's one of my favorite football players of all time. Um, he's the best defensive player of all time, in my estimation, and that was particularly why he was the subject matter of Football One, is because he was ridiculously aggressive and he was kind of like a madman on the field. And he also was a great teammate. He had the ear and the eyes of everybody on his team, and he was very well respected for being who he was. And oftentimes he broke the rules, but he always showed up and was always there for them as well. Uh, so he's a really well-rounded, legitimate athlete that I think is a lot of fun to be a fan of.
I think he's also a good role model in how you have to live your life. In many ways, the football field is a battlefield, and in many ways, our lives are kind of battlefields where things are fought for, defended, and so forth.
Yeah, I think that Lawrence has a very mixed bag story. I think that in the end, he is a great role model. He's somebody who has taken into account his own shortcomings and tried to progress and try to become a better person. I mean, he's had some troubles with the law. He's also had some troubles with drugs. And I think that for himself, it was very important to overcome all that stuff. And I think he's accomplished that. And I think that that in and of itself is really impressive role modeling.
Agreed. Talk to us a little bit about the impact that your book has and what you hope people take away from it after they've turned that last page.
Oh, geez, that's a tough one. Yeah, wow. Um, One of the things that I think what I would really like after they turn that last page would be to read it again. It's particularly the reason why I made it so short. It's not a very long book, but it was so that it was something that would be undaunting and you'd be willing to read again easily. Because I think a lot of books that we go through, we don't read multiple times. So I would hope that the subject matter that I put together was intriguing enough in order or so that they would read it more than just once.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you hope they learn about themselves or learn about society from reading your book?
Just that we often don't quite get our impressions right with other people. I think that very often we come up short in relation to respecting somebody else, whereas we could respect people a lot more that are strangers. But I also think that there are a lot of people that are in our personal lives that are not strangers that we just don't appreciate and respect enough. So really, that kind of aspect would be most important to me for them to understand.
Are you thinking about writing football too?
Yeah, I've got a subject list of probably like 30 different chapters, but I haven't started cranking on any of them yet.
What are some of the subjects you'll cover in that book?
Oh, geez. Well, one of them would be my own personal difficulty with paranoid schizophrenia.
Mhm.
That would be one chapter. Geez, I'm having a hard time remembering some of the other ones. Well, football too would be another one.
Yeah.
That's about Jerry Rice. Um,
Talk to us a little bit about living with paranoid schizophrenia in society. What's helped you get by? What's helped you survive? What's helped you thrive?
Well, trying to stay grounded every single day is what's helped me get by. It's something that I recognize happens daily. So I just try and when I encounter it, I try and just calm down and regain my basis. Yeah, it's something that sometimes can be very bothersome. It can be something that really kind of gets to me, and I get a little stressed out from it. So really trying to take the time to to calm down is really important.
You have to be very aware of your own mental state, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you very much do. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we have a little self-talk where, okay, this is the situation. These people are not out to get me. I've got to take a step back. I've got to look at the situation rationally. Is that how you approach it?
Yeah, that definitely happens a lot. That's something that I encounter and I try and work through along those lines for sure.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. So you've got this one book out there now, another book coming. Are these your only two books, or tell me a little bit about your writing career? I know you work as a college professor also.
Oh, no, no, I'm a pretend for professor.
Oh, pretend. Well, you could be a real college professor. You got some great philosophy, some great insights, and some great real world experience. In fact, I think the kids in school could learn a lot more from you than they could learn from the real college professors. That's for
Oh,
sure.
I appreciate that compliment. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this football one's your first book, going to be followed up by football two.
I think so. I'm not sure that I'm going to write football too, but this is my first book I've ever written, which is Football One. So um, it really is going to come down to whether or not I get inspired to start writing, because my writing style is really kind of inspirational. If I feel it and I'm going to go with it, then it's something that I really pay attention to and really involve myself with. So I'm going to need to really kind of feel that spark, I think, initially. And maybe that comes with rereading the chapter listing that I have docketed out and see if anything really gets me excited.
Wonderful, wonderful. We're looking forward to forthcoming books from you because this book is terrific. It is called Football One. It is a daring and dynamic journey through life, thought, and society. Geoffrey, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Hey, Logan, thank you again. And you're welcome. It's my pleasure.
I appreciate your time, your insight, and your wisdom. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.